Yeah. We're ready. Yeah.
All right, good.
Here we are. And we're live. I'm Adrian.
And only 3 minutes late.
And only 3 minutes late. And nice background. And this explains
You as well.
exactly why we're a little late.
A lot of links to pull.
We're gonna explain. We're gonna explain in just 40 seconds on the other side of our intro. So bear with us and we will explain exactly why our feed looks like this today. See you. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, March 26th, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster News. Well, 20-ish minutes of Farcaster News to start your day. And then we're going to have the fabulous Dylan from Crypto the Game. And I am so excited to chat with him about all things Crypto the Game and get a commitment from him to play Casto. So these are my goals today. I'm going to just tweet this out that we are live. And Adrian, the feed has gone a little crazy. Things are a little out of control. Has anyone checked on Dan?
I mean, I don't know what's going on, but if you look at, I think he's fine on Farcaster, but check his Twitter feed. And if Ted is listening or Woj, like someone check on him and take his phone.
Check on Dan. Somebody check on Dan. We're concerned.
And Yes to Crypto is asking the right questions.
Yes, exactly. What is it? Is even that? Yeah. I don't know. But apparently it's this style of cartoonishness. So let's dive in, shall we? Yeah, I was teaching yesterday, so I missed some.
I'm sorry.
Things. Yeah. And this morning I'm looking at my feed, and my feed is this. And it was kind of, I'm like, what is happening? And most of it is Dan, except for this one, which is one of the first ones I saw, which is Dan in a box. So this is apparently a particular type of animation style that people have now gravitated towards on ChatGPT. Would you like to explain more, Adrian?
Studio Ghibli is a Japanese anime house. I don't know. It's like a Pixar. Like what Pixar is to the US is to Japan. So if you have followed their movies, you know. If you were someone like me, you Googled it this morning. Yes. Asked ChatGPT what Ghibli was. I didn't know.
I had no idea.
But now I do.
And now I do.
And ChatGPT, I think, just had an upgrade in its image making capabilities. So I think that is what the change was, which is the ability to. And I'm seeing people on Twitter forget even mentioning. I was saying style and Ghibli, studio style, but you can just say anime me, like upload a picture and say anime style.
Me. Okay, that's cool.
So all over Farcaster, all over Twitter, I'm seeing this as well. So it's
all right.
A lot.
I just got a notification that. Did you get that? Warpcast degraded performance investigating. Not now. Thank you, please.
Was that a push notification? Where are you?
Yeah, from Telegram. So hopefully not. But what I thought, was interesting is Dan was using it with his kids. And I thought that was really cute that you can create sort of your own thing based on their ideas. And I think that's a really fun way to use this. But then also, anime history, which this is just so funny. And then he said, okay, I'm done. Can't beat this. And he was not done. Someone took all the ones that Dan did and put them all into one Zora post, which I thought was hilarious. Then we had, this was so funny, from Cyber Shakti, very creative. This is the picture with that you may remember of Vitalik. There was some photos happening, and this is now animated. Hilarious. I loved the family photos. Those are really cute. Like this one, Linda's family photo. This is freaking adorable. Like I love this. This is so cute. Justin also had one with his family. Please load. Okay, good. So cute. Loved this. Like this is really fun. Like you could do some really cute like kids book stuff with this. And
yes, after playing with this, I decided like when you have a child in the picture, it's so much better than when you have just
or you mean when you just have a whole bunch of people from Farcaster in the picture?
That's cute.
They'll stack. This is really cute. This is really cute. I love this. So here was the original picture. But I think this is just adorable. So really cute. I liked that one. This was also pretty cute. Adrian, you did a really cute one of us in our podcast studio.
You're making me sound like the person who uploaded the picture and asked ChatGPT to ghiblify something.
And it says GM Arcadius, whatever that is.
Got the letters right for podcast studio, Eat Denver, Orbs, and then our shirts that say GM Farcaster, it changed it to Arcadius.
Arcadius. So GM Arcadius, wherever you are and whoever you are. This was here is a great point. As a former copyright and trademark lawyer, some of this stuff makes my head hurt. And this is one of those things. When OpenAI's lawyers see how easy it is to jailbreak the new ChatGPT image prompts. This won't last long, people. So just letting you know. It won't last long. Antimo, yes. Just yes. Just yes. Yeah, this is what my feed looks like right now. Just ghiblify everything. And then this from Henry Stern was perfect. My feed, we have built super intelligence with access to the world's knowledge rails. Can you turn all my family photos into Ghibli content? On the whole, I feel good about humanity's prospects today. It's very wholesome. It's very, very wholesome. And then this from Moon Pappy, Ghiblify frame, let folks collect as NFT. Look at me, I am Dan now. Because this does sound like something Dan would say. It absolutely does. And then, so Toady Hawk did this, Clanker. So I replied, and I'm sorry, and let me be very clear. The answer to what would the token do is nothing. So I said, hey, Clanker, launch a token Ghiblify with the token name Ghiblify in this image, lock up 10% of the supply. This is a new thing I just heard about like yesterday. I didn't realize we could do this now for the creator, which will be given to Toady Hawk after unlock. Thanks. And it launched the token, and now the token is trending. So
of course it is.
Of course it is. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy.
And what will the token do?
Nothing. It will do nothing. It will go up and then it will come down because you guys will forget about this. It will come all the way down. So, just beware.
But maybe
it's Clanker. Generational wealth could be right there in this Ghiblified hands. It's not, people. But it is kind of funny. I found it amusing that I did not expect, like I literally thought I'd be the only one to buy it. By the way, I'm in a chat and I haven't looked at the chat because I know I'm going to get yelled at with some friends who will, sort of, hey, this is launching, that's launching. Oh, go take a look at this one or whatever. And if you launch something, generally you pop a note in there so they can come in early. And I did not do that because I don't think this is anything. And then it started taking off. And now I'm really afraid to go in that chat because I know I'm going to get crucified for not saying anything.
If launching a clanker qualifies as launching something, you need to find new friends. Okay, let me talk to your friends.
One of these friends is Tony.
I'm sure I know who some of these friends are.
So he saw it. I mean, he saw it. He could tell people,
It's
like,
him.
I know these friends. I know all your friends.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. You all know who these people are. This is not a secret. This is not a secret group chat, unlike others. This is the Ghiblify Who the VC group chat, which is really funny. So that was really funny. Also, this unrelated to Ghiblify, but still funny when you're accidentally added to the Goothy VC small group chat. Going back to, a lot of you won't get this because you've never seen Star Wars, but this is funny. This is very funny. If you've actually seen Star Wars, it's funny. And then this happened also. DC Investor said, "Oh wait, hold up, you can muppify photos now." And he is a thread of muppify photos. And so Dan said, "Sell Ghiblify by Muppets." And then this happened. Now that's the photo of
I didn't
Dan
even see
muppified.
that.
It's beautiful. That was well done. Very well done. So, okay, banger. Agree. All right. That's all I have on this Ghiblify, whatever.
I can't see Dan. I will no longer see Dan as anything but a Muppet.
You're gonna see him as a Muppet.
Sorry.
I'm like, I didn't have time. I wanted to go muppify us, and I just didn't have time. But that's next to my list of important things to get done today. Muppifying everybody I know.
Can we have peanutsify? I assume you can ify anything. So
yeah, I mean, go for it.
Why not?
Why not? Absolutely.
I mean, intellectual property and copyrights are dead. So
apparently,
crime is legal, and there's no such thing as IP. And
not legal advice, not financial advice, not any kind of advice whatsoever. Please, please, muppify responsibly. Because none of this is legal. Speaking of the law, we have a new member of Farcaster that I am ecstatic about, like so excited. We have Ro Khanna is now on Farcaster. Hey everyone, it's Ro Khanna. I'm proud to represent Silicon Valley in Congress. Glad to be here. So this made me very excited. I'd like to see some others. Not everybody wants to see, but I'd love to see Richie Torres over here. He's been very pro crypto. I'd love to see Senator Lummis on the other side of the aisle over here. I know that like Ro Khanna and Richie Torres, like they manage their own Twitter, and you can tell. The older you get into Congress, the less of that happens. So I'd like to see those who manage their own accounts be over here, not necessarily, but also the staff with their own accounts. Like, come on over.
Yes.
But have your own accounts, not manage people accounts. So thoughts? I was excited.
This is awesome. Has he responded to anyone yet? Has he replied or engaged? I mean, the first step is create the account and double post your content. Fine, I'll take it, even if it's have a Farcaster presence. But I didn't see him.
Not yet. Does not look like it.
Likes. Check his likes.
Has done anything yet? No. Yeah. Nope.
Okay,
but
he's busy.
Here.
He's busy.
He's here.
I'll give him
he's
that.
He's busy. We don't. It's okay. But maybe on the weekend. Maybe you could do a little bit on the weekend. That'd be great. We'd love that.
Democrat or Republican, I do really like the politicians and really anyone, right? Who it's the go direct, which is not filtered and being authentic and using the internet.
Yeah.
You know the internet.
The internet. The internet.
New thing.
This thing called the internet.
And then obviously we love the crypto forward.
Yes, I'd love to see, because I think it also gives them more insight into what's really being built and not just what's, oh my God, Nonlinear just posted the muppified version of Dan and it's in the box.
I guess WordCast is up.
We don't have time. We don't have time for that. I'm just making sure that I was making sure Dylan saw. Yeah, he did. Okay. Few more things that we need to go through before our interview with Dylan from Crypto the Game, who should be here in a minute. Rewards leaderboard results. Duca, less than 5K FID returns in full force after long hiatus to the #1 spot. Afrochicks narrowly misses her second title at number 2. Garrett parlays higher arrows to number 4 to keep his streak alive. Bert Mumups at number 5 with another new life experience. Good for you. Good for you, Bert. SwampNet returns to the top 10, even though newly employed. Kaufman holding it down for the journos, number 8. Vibe Tribe Alert, number 8. Wait a minute. It can't both be number 8. Estes and Keckers last minute move to 9. Erica 12, just outside the top 10. Ugh. Nounish Prof takes 30 to hold on to $100. Not her first time at 30, I think. No, not my first, but I think it's just my second. And at Luke takes number 69, the coveted spots. I have to say 11, 31, 70, and 421 have to be the worst numbers to be on the leaderboard. I really thought I was going to fall to 31. It was an interesting experiment, though, trying to actually stay in the top 30. I usually don't make an effort. Like, I just kind of do what I do.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting thing when you're that close of like, can I make sure I stay here? And it was not easy. It was not easy. There were people nipping on my heels and they were trying hard. So
I would do the same. As much as I say I don't play it, like I can't play into these games. And I think I don't think I've ever been in the top 10, but the top 30 I once hung around. 30. Yeah. I've been top 30.
You used to be in the top 10, not since the change up, I don't think. But you used to be all the time in the top 10.
Yeah, it's all downhill. Okay.
It's all downhill from here. The more the interesting folks come on here, the less we have a shot. Dylan's in our green room, so we're going to whip through the rest of these little important notes and then bring him on up. This from Brad Q, celebrating first-time reward winners in new tier. So this is pretty cool. I love that he gives these shout-outs to the newbies. So go take a look at that. This from Dan, on-chain trending notifications in Warpcast. You can turn them off. So you can turn off certain notifications. The algo is based on on-chain activity in the social graph. We are iterating on the algo. There are plenty of legitimate projects that are experimenting with coins. What is legitimate is relative to each person. Plenty of people like the notifications. Some people don't. That's why you can turn it off. Fundamentally, you either believe people are capable of making decisions with information or they can't. Okay, there you go. It's in your hands. This is new as well. Recovery phrase export. You can now export your recovery phrase for your Warpcast wallet and Farcaster wallet from settings advanced. Warning, don't use this if you don't know how recovery phrases work. In other words, if you're one of my students and you found your way into Farcaster, please just don't. You're not ready for this. You could lose all your Farcaster account and all of your on-chain assets. But if you want to do it, it is in the settings. So who should use this feature? You have a Warpcast wallet, but are not able to use it due to geo restriction. 2, you are a developer and know how recovery phrases work and want to test something in your own client. 3, you are an advanced user, want to import your Farcaster wallet into another app. In all cases, if you make a mistake and store it insecurely or get tricked into inputting it into the wrong app, you will lose your account and your funds. We do not recommend using this feature unless you absolutely have to. All right, some good warnings there. Also, another update, Token Pages got an upgrade to show more context. If possible, we show Token Launcher, like where you launched it from, Token Creator, Token Description, if Zora, Rainbow, Creation Cast, if Clanker, your balance. We'll continue to iterate on this. Let us know what's missing. Very cool. Good to see the iteration. Very useful, by the way. Also, Token Pages, very useful. I had my students doing some swaps last night, and I was going to the Token Pages when they were asking me questions about certain tokens. So we did 2 kinds of swaps. One was in Coinbase Wallet, just pick something from trending. All the ones that were trending were like DRB from Banker, Cool from Board Elon, which I think was also Banker, if I remember correctly, or Clanker, I can't remember which. And there was something else that was Clanker. Oh, Dog and Me, which was a base coin. And then Tort. So I said to Emily today, I'm like, hey, Tortoise token. I'm like, if you saw a bunch of little tiny things that kind of came in a flurry, those are from my class. They all became tort millionaires last night. We're very excited about it. By the way, swapping Coinbase inside Coinbase Wallet, very easy. Teaching them how to swap on Uniswap, a little more challenging, but we did it. So they got both experiences and learned how to use both options for swapping. So it was fun, but also if you want to see how hard this is, teach somebody else how to do it. It is not easy. This from Salvino. We had the Hire airdrop that dropped during the show the other day. So sponsoring the Hire airdrop was worth every penny. I read every post in the Hire channel today. It's inspiring to see people openly share their ambitions. The author determined to finish writing his first book, someone committing to getting fit, the founder hustling to land their first user, a creator who wants to launch their newsletter, and the person deciding it's finally time to learn how to code. Believing you're destined for more is the first step into achieving it, and there is no upper bound higher. So I really kind of love that. This was in order to get the airdrop, you had to cast in the Hire channel and say what you were working on, essentially what your goal was. So I thought that was very cool. This from Linda. Hire airdrop has got to be one of the most wholesome airdrops of all time, with everyone posting their goals in Hire, and I agree. So that was very cool to see. I'm excited to see more of those. This from Emma about FarCon. Things I'm excited about this week. Final week for Lightning Talk submissions. So if you want to submit a Lightning Talk, this is your last chance. Rolling out a micro grant program with some special partners to help fund community-oriented side events. Love this. Adding more side events to the FarCon NYC map, and a redacted tournament. We had pickleball last year. What will it be this year? Couple more quick things. This from Octant. Next week, we're kicking off the mint of our Octant card game collection. These are the first editions Degens and Dragons cards you might have seen floating around IRL. There are 18 Octant V2 themed cards to collect starting Monday, March 31st. We're dropping 3 cards per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 6 weeks. Great timing on that. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We like that. Minting will happen here on Farcaster, and each card will be available to mint for 1 week only. Keep an eye out for their live tweet Monday, a little teaser for now. So excited to see this coming from Octant. Really fun way to do a launch of some new things that they're doing, and excited to collect, and more info maybe next week about this drop. I mentioned Tort. This is really cool. This was Tortoise introducing Tortoise, a music collective and product studio built on Farcaster. Clanker launched a token called Tortoise Token with the ticker TORT, reserve 10% of the supply for the Creative Vault. That's when I learned about that little option, which I thought was very cool. NFA, DYOR, just thought it was a really cool thing. I'm excited to see exactly what he's building in terms of music collective. So Matt Lee, this is really fun to see. And lastly, I'm going to jump to this because this is tonight from Rachel W. We hope to see you this evening at New Creator Economy, an inspiring night at the intersection of creativity, community, and new tools for creators. Topics include Socialify and Farcaster with somebody named Adrian. That should be interesting. Grants and creator opportunities with Emlo. Creator tools and monetization with Rachel. Artist talk with the iconic Made by Una. Special Women's History Month segment, Women Who Move Us Forward, featuring trailblazers Lori Madoff. She's amazing. You got to make sure you meet her tonight if you haven't already. Right. FTG Web3, Women's in Meta, and Legally Jen, Team USA, WNFC coach. Special NFT to attendees only, and the first 100 holders will be airdropped 1 million good. That's exciting. Let's build the future together. We're also going to be dropping some good to our chatters. So if you want to be nice, you could like go recast this or retweet it, or you could just keep more for yourself. It's up to you. And also we're adding some good that you can collect when you mint on pods.media now through next Wednesday. All right. Anything else, Adrian, before we bring up fabulous Dylan?
No, let's
bring him up.
Go to Dylan.
All right, we're switching over to Dylan, bringing Dylan to the stage. Hey,
how's
there.
It going?
GM, it's so good to have you here. We're so excited.
Long time coming. Thank you so much for playing, for casting about it, for tweeting about it, for having me. This is a blast.
I have one question before we go any further.
Yeah.
You get to the end.
Yeah.
You figure out you have 68 finalists.
Yes.
Why wasn't your first thought, we got to throw one more hidden immunity idol challenge in and just bring one more person in?
That definitely was suggested amongst the three of us. I think we really have no control over how many people go out each night, how many people make the finale. No, separately tired this morning, but have my coffee here. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would have been an amazing meme unto itself. But really,
for the culture,
really happy with how it ended.
I was like, for the culture, just one more.
So close. There were a couple snarky tweets that there were too many people in the finale, so that was my one saving grace. That
there was. I thought it was going to be 3. And then it was like, wow, okay, 68. Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
that's wild.
If you consider the touch grass day, and the first day is basically no one goes home. It's kind of
except for the people who didn't bother to connect Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. You had one job.
You had one job.
Yeah, it's basically seven voting periods. You have to go from 716 to 1. So there's only so many you can cut basically. And we definitely had a larger player number that made it to the merge this year, and I personally like that. I think everyone enjoys to make it as long as possible.
I made it, so I was happy. Yeah,
nice. Adrian, when did you get out?
I think
let's
3
talk
days.
about that.
Oh, also nice to meet you. I know.
Nice to meet you.
The Nounish professor. I don't know what you go by, but we met at Consensus last year. But Adrian, nice to meet you.
Yeah, just Adrian.
Cool. She goes by Adrian. I go by Prof.
Nice,
but
Prof.
Adrian made it to the swap, and then somebody asked her Connect Collab Lab to enter into a Telegram, and she's like, "I'm good."
Brutal.
That was it for her.
I want to defend myself, but I can't because that's kind of what happened. But I could have, I actually realized I could have worked my connections to probably been safe that night. But I realized at that moment, I was not going to I wasn't in it for there's no way I could have committed. I was already going to get kicked out of my family. And
well, I think we were
fired from my job,
DMing or DCing a bit before it went live. And I know you were initially on the fence. So thank you so much for eventually.
I gifted her a token. So I bought 3.
Okay.
I gifted one to her because I was like, do you want it before I find somebody else for it? And then the other one, we had sponsored Chompix, who's an esports player.
Nice.
So we sponsored him to play. And he did awesome. He did incredible with pinball and all this. And then they voted him out. They were just like,
I know. I never know why folks are going to get voted out, but I do think it's risky to be too bad at the challenges, but it's also risky to be too good at the challenges because you're almost perceived as a threat. And folks,
it's just
true
like
players
Survivor.
know that eventually, it turns into an individual game. And basically that's your competition.
Right. And I think that's kind of what happened. I think he also I think it was more the social game that got him, if I remember correctly. He said something about he said something in the chat and somebody didn't like it, and then he was gone. Oh, Chompix, you're in the if you want to elaborate, Chompix.
Hey, GM.
Feel free. He's in there. So it was great to be able to sponsor him to play, and I think that is when we'll talk about if you do this again or if you do something a little different. I think brands should really lean into that because there were a couple other folks that I know were sponsored by their business or whatever to play.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great way to, get that out there, network with other folks that maybe you haven't met before. I met so many people. It was great.
Yeah, so. I think I've seen it go both ways. Either brands, well, I guess 3 ways. Brands play as the brand, which I thought was really cool this season. MoonPay was playing as MoonPay.
That was surprising.
Which was really fun. But I've seen folks be able to basically expense their entry ticket because it's such good networking in BD. And then this season, in addition to you guys sponsoring Chompics, I think OP sponsored a woman named Andrea, who's a big Survivor fan, and kind of was posting about how she's always wanted to play, a game like this online with her friends, but was looking for some support on the mint fee. So yeah, it's been so incredible to see the reaction from players, brands, orgs, basically everyone. It's been so fun.
So we had I was on the Orange Tribe, and we had Hayden Adams on our tribe.
Yes.
And it was funny. It was really funny.
We don't have any visibility into the Telegram chats and whatever happens outside of our site, but we can, see what's going on in the tribe chats on the app. Hayden's posts are cracking me up. Like if I don't win, I'm firing Dylan. Like,
I'm firing Dylan. Yeah, you're fired. And it was really funny to have him in the Telegram chat too, because he was busy. He's the founder of Uniswap, for those who may not be aware. And Uniswap is now the owner of Crypto the Gamer partner. So he was just like, we know he's busy. Yeah. But we got to like pinball, and we're like, Hayden, put up any points, anything you wanted. Like, we don't care. Like, we don't.
I was slacking him too. I was like, just a heads up, your tribe mates are searching for you.
We're searching for you. Like, like searching for him everywhere. Like, Hayden, just please, anything
because
but zero.
You just wanted to not have a zero. Like, was this the average? Like, you just get on the board. I played pinball.
Ended up winning.
I lasted for a pinball round.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, we can take like 10 steps back and like describe what the game is if anyone's listening and doesn't know. But but yes, for the like arcade game specific immunity challenges that are tribe based, we take the average score, and basically like 0 scores bring down the weighted average of the team.
Yeah. So we definitely wanted him to just put some numbers on the board. We should probably step back. So Crypto the Game is sort of a Survivor-inspired crypto version, online version of that sort of competition show where you have folks that are starting out in tribes. So what inspired you when you first created this? Like, maybe talk a little bit about your background with HQ Trivia for those who may not be aware.
Yeah, I would say, the earliest inspiration for this game was like back when I was in like elementary school playing, watching early seasons of Survivor, and then going over to my friend's house and playing a CD-ROM version of Survivor called Survivor Ultimate. It was like, the worst PC game. You enter the CD-ROM into your computer, you like pick one of 3 like season 1 or season 2 cast members, and you play like tic-tac-toe for immunity. So janky, but we played it every single day. And we're completely obsessed. And I don't know, I've kind of just like, in thinking about the future as a kid, always thought it would be so cool to play like a version of this online with my friends. Fast forward to, my professional life. I started my career in TV. I was an NBC page out of college. So if you guys watch 30 Rock, or if you know Kenneth the Page,
that was
like, basically Kenneth is like a very, very fictionalized version of the page assignment that I had at SNL. So like the same desk, the same uniform, basically being the assistant to the cast and the host and the musical guest. Best year of my life, fully bitten by...
What an incredible experience that must have been.
What show? Dylan, what show?
SNL.
Saturday
Night Live.
Oh, it was... Oh.
Yeah, it was insane.
That's like the best. That's the best possible.
Yeah, interestingly, a lot of the East Coast pages are like hardcore like news junkies. So the Today Show, Nightly News, all of MSNBC, CNBC, those were like the like highly sought after page assignments. And I was like, I'm gonna like sneak into this very fun, entertainment one. And yeah, it was incredible. And I was just like fully bit by the live TV bug. So bounced around a bunch of different networks and shows and studios, and was kind of just like on that career trajectory when I kind of stumbled upon tech by way of HQ Trivia, which really was a TV show that was on your phone, but it was interactive and it was live and it was mobile first, and kind of left TV and joined that for the grand vision of the future of TV and a live interactive TV network. So in the same way that HQ took a traditional game show and made it live and mobile and interactive, like the same could have and should have been said for a talent competition or a dating show or a Shark Tank format. In my mind, obviously a huge Survivor fan, like we should do a HQ Survivor.
Yeah.
So I pitched the idea for what is now CTG internally at HQ in 2018, 2019. And I feel like they were like, oh yeah, Survivor, like that's still a thing. In my mind, I'm like, I think this could be pretty big. But yeah, fast forward to last year, I had bounced around a bunch of different startups after HQ, and just one of those ideas that just kept coming up, like, if not now, when? If not me, who? Sort of thing. And I met Brian and Ty, my two co-founders, and kind of the like design and engineering arms of CTG at a fintech startup that we were at. It was recent. It had been acqui-hired. We were kind of found ourselves working at a neobank, so not a match for our skill sets. And I was like, you guys watch Survivor? I kind of have this idea, and it took off from there.
I love it. And stepping back a little bit, have you played FC trivia?
Sorry, I think you were cutting out for a sec.
Have you
played trivia?
FC trivia, like Farcaster trivia.
No. I would love to.
Matthew Fox.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you've been busy with Clankermon, but we need you to bring FC trivia back because Dylan wants to play. It's like HQ trivia.
Amazing.
And it's like this 10-minute moment where people log on. Ted was hosting for a little while. Garrett was hosting.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
I know, because then he pivoted to something else and it still exists. And I'm like, please bring it back. And we used it for Cast Out and it was so fun. Nice. So it was a great challenge. It's super fun. You can tailor the questions to whatever. We did it as Farcaster questions.
I want to do an immunity challenge that's trivia based. So
that's what we did. Yeah. For Cast
cool.
Out. Yeah.
Nice.
It was really fun.
I'm beginning to think you started a podcast just so you could have a platform to bully Matthew Fox into bringing HQ trivia.
Bring it back. I want
trivia
trivia back.
Yeah,
I'm like,
same.
Please, Matthew, bring it back. Let us run it for you. Like, we'll do it. You can just work on your thing. You don't have to do anything. Just give us the keys. Anyway, so that was it's been really fun to play. I love that you started this. So this is the third season. I missed the first one. I was totally just missed the whole thing. Like, I watched what was happening, but I kind of saw it late and didn't jump in. And then the second season, I thought about playing, and then I went, okay, I don't have time. There's no way I have time to do this. So I didn't. But I loved watching it. Yeah. And I loved listening to the Boys Club podcast about it.
Clearly.
When it was like, I saw that when it was like the next day or that night, you get it that night or whatever it was. Yeah. And I loved that. That was like added such a value. But this year, having the live stream of it right after the vote I thought that was great.
That was their idea, because a lot of, just like selfishly, a lot of friends and family would like listen to the podcast the next morning, none of which are on X as chronically as I'd say all of us are. And when they kind of pitched the idea of doing it live right after the vote, I was like, I don't know how many people, but like thousands of people were tuning in.
It was perfect.
It was such a great idea. It was so cool I've obviously never played. I've never been in a room with someone who's been playing. So the fact that they went live before they knew the results of each voting period and like seeing the genuine like stress and anxiety and relief like before, during, and after each voting period was incredible. So
and they were playing.
Yeah.
And
they were fully documenting
they were finding out
their journey in real time.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
And it was fun to be able to do that here too for us, but it was like the next morning or whatever.
Yeah.
Talking about it or talking about what was coming up. And that was really fun. And if you go back
I love the
to
reunion show too. I'm sorry I couldn't.
That was so fun to do. And we laughed the whole entire time. It was just hilarious. And like realizing what a mastermind Christopher was, and not like, I knew he was good, but I'm like, I didn't know you were doing all that, buddy.
Yeah, his memes were great. That's kind of the extent to which I can see, but
he was doing a lot of stuff in the background. We had no idea. He called the hit on me. Okay, all right, I see you. By the way, I put a bounty out to find out who took me out.
Yeah,
and he responded almost immediately
for voter data. By the way, I'm joking.
Oh no, I got the information. It only cost me $20.
Amazing.
By the way, and I gave it to Christopher for the information, and then he donated it to the Gilda Radner charity for ovarian cancer. And I was like, great. I love that.
So whatever you're charging, I know you claim it's going to be a non-forever, but whatever you're charging, you're not charging enough.
No, I will
double it again, and someone will pay for it.
I don't think we can ever reveal the data. It's like
no, you can't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I never had any plans to, and it's like the biggest reason why voting is off chain. It's just like too many personal and professional vendettas because people take this thing so seriously.
Yes, they do.
Prop is so good at reminding people it's just a game.
It's just a game,
right?
I know.
Every day I was like, it's just a game.
Yeah.
And yet you still remember, and yet look at the emotion that comes out when you talk about Christopher.
I know. No, but I'm totally joking. I was just glad that he gave me the information. So I knew exactly. And then I reached out to, it was Shlomo who actually took the shot. And I reached out to Shlomo and with the Godfather meme. I know it was you. You broke my heart. It was so like fun to me. That's like fun. That's a fun part of it is like, you know, like that aspect of it is, it doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to hold a vendetta. That's silly.
No, I mean, it's always funny to see how like right after a voting period, I'll immediately get a handful of DMs like, who did this? Like, I can't, and then like the next morning, almost always it's like, I finally slept. That was so much fun. I can't wait to play next season. I'm sorry for what I said when I was, you know, when I just got
upset for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I mean, like my intention was never to make this thing 24/7. It's terrible for us. It's terrible for my personal life. I kind of just like always imagine that people would log on, you know, around noon, register a score of pinball or contribute to that day's scavenger hunt, kind of go
and then
back
go on
to
with
work.
their lives.
Maybe, you know, maybe the two of you had a cross-tribe alliance. Maybe you recognized someone from Twitter or Farcaster. You had a secret alliance and you came back on that night to cast your vote. Like the spreadsheets, the telegrams, the Zooms, like whatever this is ballooned into, like was never on my radar in terms of, but like leave it to our corner of the internet to like take things to the next level.
Insane. Like the number of not just a telegram. Like I had like, I don't know, 6 different telegram chats at least, and probably more than that. And then individual, like one-on-one chats going on. And then I had group chats on Warpcast. So I had more group chats going than ever in my life, and I could not keep up with them. And I was like, okay, if this ever happens again and I play again, I'm quitting for 2 weeks. Like I can't do anything else, and everyone has to be aware because that's pretty much what happened anyway.
Well, I think that's why Ted did so well season 2 was because she was between jobs and she didn't, you know, she kind of went all in, and because of that, she learned how to play the game and kind of like started the lore of Ted on CTG basically. So I know folks that took PTO to play. It's like it's insane. Yeah.
I totally would do that if I was at like a real job. And that's why I didn't play last time. I was like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun and I loved every minute of it. And what was surprising to me is the challenges themselves and the immunity idols and things like that. They're not exactly a mimic of Survivor. The social game very much is.
Yeah.
Very much is.
I would
and
say
that
it's
surprised
like,
me.
It's equal parts Survivor, Hunger Games, Squid Game, Traders, Deal or No Deal, Top Chef, Game of Thrones, Lost.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Definitely felt like there were times when I've definitely felt that. And I was surprised that it really did feel like that level of social game. And and so kudos to you to being able to capture that because
thanks.
I've always wanted to play Survivor, but without the mud and the bugs.
Yeah, me too.
So now I did. It's like, now I did. And it was great. So I love that. And the other thing you just said, like you're surprised at people playing 24/7. So we created Cast Out. It's similar, but different aspects to it. Much, much smaller. 40 players was the last time. And when I ran it the first time, I ran it as like, this is a beta. I have no idea how this is going to work. Just doing all the challenges on Farcaster really to highlight what people were building. And I was shocked when I ran the first challenge. I'm like, this is going to go 24 hours, but I'm assuming you're all going to take a truce and go to sleep for a little while. Adrian, would you like to speak to that? Didn't happen. That's when she was playing. and she like had to sleep in another room because she didn't want to wake her family.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're playing games all night long. Because also what I found though is like when we ran Cast Out, it was for the beta especially, we kind of selected who was playing. And I think it was just 16 people. Was it just 16?
Yeah,
the
it was
first
16.
One? Like really small.
Tiny.
They're all friends of ours.
Yeah.
So you get put on, it was just two tribes, right? Two tribes.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with friends. Like what, I'm going to let them down and not set my alarm every 9 minutes to yoink a
I know, it's tough. It's the like fear of letting down someone has to play a big part in it.
Yeah, I think that is a part of it for sure. And I think that's so I hope you're going to play the next one. It's going to start mid-May. I'll send you more details later. But you can pick your own tribe. You can pick a tribe of five people you want to play with. So I'll let you figure that out. It can be your own little tribe.
Cool.
So that's a little bit of a difference, but I do think it was really fun. And one of the things I want to dive into you with is you wrote a blog post, and let me bring that up, about how this changed your perspective of Farcaster.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to like get some feel on that, because that was, so one of the things that one of the OGs, Octant, posted before Crypto the Game started this time was everyone's going to disappear from the timeline like they did last time, and it'll be really easy to game the rewards. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then you ended up like number one that week. I'm like, I said, I think this time's going to be different. I think you're going to see a lot more participation from those on Farcaster and a lot more things happening.
Yep.
I just didn't realize to the extent. So what was like, how did you see that all playing out? And like, did that surprise you, or was it kind of what you expected this time?
100% surprised me. I think, I wrote about it in this post here, which is here, and I think might have been pinned to my profile. But I basically, I kind of just like looked at Farcaster as a checkbox for seasons 1 and seasons 2. Seasons 1 and 2. I, created an account, I created a channel, kind of went through the motions. I cross-posted my tweets in there. Didn't get that many likes, didn't have that big of a network here. And it was kind of in between seasons 2 and 3. Ted came in second during season 2, started talking to her a bit more about her experience on Farcaster. Dan himself was DMing me on Twitter, ironically, saying, when's the next season? How can we help? Let's bring it to Farcaster. Went to
That's
FarCon.
Because Ted was in his ear like this.
Yeah, no, honestly, but also I went to FarCon.
And
that was after season 2. And I recognized so many CTG players. The vibes were immaculate. I don't know if either of you were there in Venice.
I was and I was watching your panel.
Oh, amazing.
I watched the panel that was about Crypto the Game. Yeah, it was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I was like, I don't know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm doing a FarCon panel on Crypto the Game, but we didn't leverage anything Farcaster related for seasons 1 or 2. So yeah, I kind of just like said, let's basically like lean in, try it out. Worst case scenario, we get incremental distribution and a couple more players see it. I had no idea the extent to which it would basically like supercharge everything. I'll try to remember all the things I wrote in the post, but something I was always self-conscious about in making this a website and not an iOS app was the lack of push notifications, basically. At HQ Trivia, we lived and died by the push. Very few people remembered, set alarms for game times. We were constantly switching things up. It was just when you got a push, HQ is live, you tapped it, you played. And we didn't have that ability for CTG in seasons 1 or 2. What I found out and what I realized is that as the owner of the CTG channel, if I pinned something to that channel, I could immediately notify all of the followers of that channel. So that kind of solved that right away. All of a sudden, in addition to me just tweeting or casting, voting is now live, I can immediately hijack the push notification system of Farcaster on behalf of the channel's followers. And that was just like a huge unlock.
Yeah, for sure.
I also, I always tweet when entries are live, when CTG is returning, little sneak peeks between seasons, but it's very hard to basically break through the noise of crypto Twitter and get people to realize that entries are now live and we have to basically you have to mint if you want to play. And historically, I was kind of just like manually DMing and Telegram messaging everyone that mentioned that they were semi-interested. And it would take me hours and days of just like combing through people, trying so hard not to get flagged by Twitter for any suspicious activity, making sure that each DM was unique. And in DMing with Dan, he said, check out Perks. And Perks.app was my best friend this season. I basically was
good. Chinmay, there you go.
Yeah, incredible.
Shout out.
And Dylan, I was getting DMs from you. So like when you use Perks, it comes from you, right?
Yes.
Like it's an automated DM.
Yep.
You did an excellent job because most of the times when I get an automated DM, like you can sniff it out, and then I'm like, ignore.
I know. A couple times I had to say that was automated, LOL.
I knew yours was automated, but I knew yours was automated, but it's actually information you want because it's timely.
Right.
Yes.
So I really appreciate it just as a player, as a user. Like it was an excellent use of like the push automated DMs. Like great job.
Yeah, and basic really like the 7x marketing, right? You need to see something 7 times before you take action. So it's one of those, 7 times.
I basically like was able to pull the wallet addresses and then match them to the FIDs. And I'm the least technical person ever. And it was like pretty easy to basically just create audience segments of my followers, the channel's followers. You could even look at the NFT holders of season 1 and season 2 to pull previous season players. And I kind of just like tailored the message to whoever was in that segment. Like, hey, if you want to run it back, hey, I see you follow the channel. Hey, just FYI.
Hey, I saw you posting everything about Survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Survivor channel.
That was my season 1 strategy. That's how I met Jay from Privy. And a lot of the Survivor fans that ultimately played CTG, because I went to the Survivor Twitter account and like Jeff Probst's account and kind of combed through their followers and looked for PFPs and like NFTs basically, and then would DM them, hey, saw you're a Survivor fan too. Like I'm building this thing. Funny. And so shout out Jay for being a CTG super fan. So Perks helped with DMs. The channels helped with notifications. The rewards.
The channels also helped with just other people being able to post memes, post about what they were doing in the game, and like have it all be in one place. And that's where I feel like channels can shine, is during these sort of ephemeral moments where it's not going to be forever. But during this moment, it's going to be the channel you go to the most if you're a player, or even if you're not a player, if you're just interested, like what's happening, what's going on, why am I seeing all this stuff? And then you know where to go and find all the details. But you could see everyone else casting about it and sharing like their memes, their experience, and it felt more like you were having a shared experience. Yeah, and it made it really fun.
Yeah, and honestly, everything else was so great. I don't, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here, but like having the mint in the frame and having, just like removing that friction of having to go to an external website and being able to tap to mint in a couple of clicks. I had never heard of starter packs before the season started, so it was very cool to basically see like the equivalent of a Twitter list and be able to follow everyone on that list individually in one button, as opposed to following the list itself and never check like I do on Twitter. So
did you see Caster Island too?
I did. Created? That was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that couldn't happen without the Farcaster like integrations. Like you couldn't pull that information.
So I was checking it. I was checking it throughout the season to see who was alive, who had immunity, who didn't. It was so much more user friendly than like our data. It was great. Was afraid to like fully promote it.
Sure, because you never know what's going on.
Because I don't know. Like betting's always a gray area. But I was definitely like an anonymous lurker on that site for sure.
Yeah. It was super useful site. It was really useful, and I loved it. There were all these little things that you could pull from the tools that we already have that exist over here that could be integrated that were, I think, super helpful.
They launched a Clanker token for Caster Island, and I remember I was like laughing to myself, like Caster Island's going to make more money from CTG than CTG.
I don't think it did, but yeah,
No,
they
no,
did launch
no,
one.
no.
They
I
did
know,
launch
I
one.
know,
It
I
was.
know.
It could have happened though. It could have happened.
I know.
I just
loved it.
launched something this morning that is going crazy, and I'm like, how? Why? What is wrong with you people? Because we're degens. Because we're degens. But it's fun. And I think there's like just other things that we can see expand on something like this, that it makes a lot of sense to have that integration for sure. So I was really happy to see it. I thought it was fantastic that so much more was happening on Farcaster, and I expected it to happen. So you were in the top for rewards. Kate from Boys Club with just amazing memes
She
wow,
killed
bestie was.
Yeah.
Like it was those, folks who were sort of just doing really creative, great casts were ending up in there because it was all connected to the game.
Yeah, I need to come up with a post-season reward strategy. Ted was messaging me like $300 a week. I'm like, well, $300 this week. I don't know. I keep going forever.
It's hard. It's hard to stay up there. It's hard to stay up there.
Yeah, but you don't need 300 a week. Go for 25.
Oh, no, I got 100 last week from a couple, honestly, from the blog post. And I was like, this is amazing.
I know. I was watching you because you were like hovering near me. I'm like, he bumps me down. I'm going to be mad.
I know.
I'm just kidding. And so same thing with Kate. I'm like, Kate, I thought you were done.
Yeah. It was the touch grass day did me in because as everyone else hopefully did and should have, like I completely logged off for the day and I slipped from the top spot. And it's so funny because the top 10 people get the same amount of money and, $300.
But having that number one spot is.
Oh, it's like, I was like, I think a very little bit of what CTG players feel when there are like leaderboard based challenges. And I was like so competitive. So
I love that. I love hearing that. That's like really kind of fun.
Everyone loves a leaderboard. Yeah. Everyone loves to compete. Yeah. Everyone loves to play. Everyone loves to get paid to post. It's so cool. I never thought of myself as like a creator or I don't know. I think I mentioned this in the blog post, but I joined Twitter 16 years ago, which is wild.
Yeah. That is wild.
And I have been tweeting daily for 16 years and I have not gotten a dime from anyone. And it's, it is what it is.
Probably, I'm going to guess you may have even paid. Oh, like if you're paying for your monthly subscription or you're paying. Yeah. Like,
CTG has a gold check. We're all affiliates. We pay. It's like,
There's obviously secondary benefits that aren't monetary to like the reasons why, right? $1 million. Except when you see, I mean, like obviously, right? But when you see the platform, like there is money, right? There's money in the ecosystem. It's just all taken by the platform and not necessarily shared. So, commercial for Farcaster.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I would have written the exact same blog post and given it the exact same love if there were no rewards. It was that impactful for CTG Season 3.
I love hearing that. And everyone should go give that a look for sure. We're running close to our time. Adrian has to take off for sure. But I wanted to just ask, like, what's next? And are you doing a Season 4? You mentioned maybe shifting to a different style. What do you think?
I'm gonna pop off and listen as a listener.
Cool.
Okay.
I gotta catch a train. Great to meet you. Bye.
Does Adrian have a day job?
No, this is her day job, but she has a meeting.
Oh, cool.
This is our full-time gig.
I was getting train PTSD from my comedian.
Yeah, she's heading into the city for a meeting.
Cool.
And she's doing a base meetup tonight as well with a few folks. Yeah.
What's next? I honestly don't know. I think like the idea for Season 1 of CTG is something I've had my entire life. I thought of the idea for Season 2, which was an on-island before Season 1 even went live.
Loved that.
During Seasons 1 and 2, we always toyed around with the idea of a Resurrection Island, very heavily inspired by Redemption Island.
Yeah.
I just I haven't felt that creative spark just yet. It comes and goes, and I don't know.
Yep.
I like the idea of humans versus bots. I like the idea of vote to save, which is something I've been kind of like teasing a bit and getting people's reactions on. So some nights you don't vote people out, you vote for who you want to keep in.
There was some of that discussion towards the end of let's vote to keep people instead of get them. Yeah, there was that feel at that point.
So they're it's starting to percolate, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're just kind of coming up from air after like a year-long sprint of 3 seasons. But separately, like similar to the idea, the original idea for HQ, which was a live interactive TV network, I would love to do an Amazing Race style show. I would love to do cool. Like I don't know how it would look, but like some sort of like Mad Money or Shark Tank style show where you're.
I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Like I see this so much more as a network than like one particular show, and I would hate to just like keep doing the same format every few months when there's potentially just as fun options outside of it. So yeah,
I could definitely. It's so funny because I think we're very similar in that regard. Because I've had like a million ideas for different game show things that I want to do, and I'm like, I can't find the time to do them.
I know.
But I think a Shark Tank related one would hit huge because you have so much startup energy and people doing cool stuff that obviously would kill. I think some people have tried to do something like that, but I'm not sure they've managed to find it successful. Or we also just need to get Matthew Fox to just hand over the keys to FC Trivia. That would be easy, like easy peasy.
I don't foresee a world in which I'm running a trivia show again anytime soon. But
you can give it to somebody else. But there's so many different like fun things I think that can happen, and I think it's fun to experiment too, and just
for sure.
I think crypto, when you bring fun into crypto, it's so much better.
Yeah.
It's just so much better.
Crypto makes everything more fun. This idea, I didn't even mention this, but there was no crypto component to this when we started working on it. And we eventually realized and decided that doing it on crypto Rails and for crypto Twitter specifically would make it so much more fun. And I think if we sat down on a whiteboard and said, like, let's come up with a blockchain game idea, like it never would have taken off. You almost have to start with the idea and then
figure out how it fits in. Yeah. And I think there was just so many with the website. You guys did an incredible job with the way things were working in terms of the dynamic token.
Yeah.
And what was really fun is I actually ended up using that in class. So I still teach a blockchain class. It's the only thing I'm doing. I used to teach full-time. I shifted to doing this full-time. But I still teach that one class. And I usually would use various NFTs to show them Etherscan and traits and things like that. And I was like, I'm going to just use the crypto of the game and see if they can figure out the story. And it was
this
really
online
cool.
Or is this in person?
No, this is like in person at a university,
Cool.
University. So this is like real deal. And we used it in class, and I had each of them taking a different token. I said, tell me what happened to this player by looking at the traits, by looking at the information that they could gather, the levels. And it was really fun. And they would go through it and like, okay, so this one looks like they started on yellow and then they moved to pink. And like, they could tell like from the traits, like, could figure out some things that happened. And it was really fun. So I love that. That was really useful. And then I loved some of the hidden immunity idol stuff was really fun. That was on the site, drove me crazy. I was the time when you had like the 3 immunities and like nothing was happening for a couple hours, and everyone's like, nothing's happening today. I'm like, oh yeah, Dylan's just like, we're just gonna sit around. Like immediately, like within 2 seconds, I'm like, okay, there's a hidden immunity idol somewhere here, and they were like, you're crazy. There's nothing there, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. There's absolutely something there. It just didn't appear for 2 hours. So by that time, I gave up.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, so much of that has to do with the fact that we're like basically building and shipping in real time. So it's like we built the choice like overnight. Basically, Ty had the idea the night before. Originally, we were just going to switch the tribes back, like no choice, just like, oh, just kidding, you're back to your original tribe. But then we were like, that's kind of boring. So Ty had the amazing idea of choosing, which added just like a whole nother layer to the season. But because of that, we had to basically like start working on the hidden immunity work after that was live. So there definitely was like a hour or 2 hour period before the hidden immunities went live and after the day's event.
It was so funny. And then actually when the swap back happened, I did it live on the show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I did it live because I was like, okay, I got to decide. I'm like, I think this is what's going to happen, but we don't know for sure. And then I was like, that's it. I'm like, okay, I'm going back.
I love the swap back.
Yeah, it was fun. But I love that. And those are the things that made it feel like Survivor. Like that was the stuff that made the like social game really feel like Survivor that I I really enjoyed. A lot of other people didn't, but that was the stuff that I was like, oh, this is cool.
I always used to say the
really
same
fun.
line that you say, basically, which is like, I always wanted to be on Survivor, but I think I just always wanted to be Jeff Probst, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like I feel the same way. Like I loved playing, but I also love doing cast out and being the Jeff Probst of it all, and like coming up with the ideas and coming up with the challenges, and like and kind of being the like person who knows everything that's going to happen. But at the same rate, there's so much you don't anticipate at all that people do and run with, and you're like, you guys are freaking crazy. Like how hard some people play really hard, and you're like, it's always a surprise. And by the way, at least in your game, they're playing for a lot of money. Like the 2 times I've done this, it's been like 1 ETH, not even. The first one was even less. The like first one was 10,000 degen, and you would have thought it was $10 million the way they were playing. How hard they played.
We saw the same thing at HQ though. People were winning, 10 cents, 20 cents, but it's just like the thrill of the win and the joy of victory.
Win. Yeah. It's the competition itself, which I think is fantastic.
Same thing with the leaderboard. I mean, $300 is amazing, and like I definitely like used it to go on a nice date night. But I was refreshing the Farcaster leaderboard like it was the 71 ETH CTG pot. So I think like there's something in all of us, and that's why we found this corner of the internet that I don't know, makes us competitive and
there's something about it, brings it out in us. I did the same thing yesterday. Normally, I don't pay too close attention to the leaderboard because I'm usually in a certain range, and I'm usually hovering around 69. So occasionally I'll try and hit that number just for fun, but it's not about the money. And then yesterday I was hovering between 29 and 31, and I kept going, and I'm like, oh, this is the difference between 25 and 100. Now I want to focus in, and it was really fun. But I do think there's just so much to that, and I think it is that human nature. Couple other quick questions for you. Are you going to FarCon this year?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have a vacation booked that week with my family, and it would require me to basically like leave the next morning. So I don't think so. But
you'll be missed.
Yeah, I know. I really, 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 really liked it last year. It was like the best day of the year for me.
It was so fun. And then we actually did a live podcast from FarCon the second day, which you may not have been there the Friday that last year. And we're doing the media space this year. So
cool.
Yeah, we were the next day.
Whereabouts in New York is it this year? Or do you not know?
It's in Williamsburg.
Oh, cool.
Where the best pizza is, apparently.
No, I mean, I'm partial to the meatball parm hero at Best Pizza, but I don't necessarily think it's the best pizza.
I know. You know why? Do you know why I know that? Because I hunted down your tweet that said what you thought was the best pizza in Williamsburg, and I called them on the phone, or something, and I was like, and I couldn't get anybody on the phone, and I'm like, I think I'm down the wrong rabbit hole here, guys. Pull me out, like find something else. But it was just hilarious. One of the ones that you tweeted. I'm like, I found this tweet.
No, that's so self-serving. No challenge will ever reference a previous post of mine.
I didn't know that, Dylan. I didn't know that at the time. It made sense in my brain. And then they're like, how about just best pizza? Like, okay, try that. And we had somebody on the way when somebody had already gotten it. So, but that was a really fun challenge. And I felt like that was very, a nice team building one. Where you really were working together to come up with it. And it was a lot of fun. My other big question for you though is, who are your favorite Survivor players?
Parvati came to my mind first. I had signed photos of Rupert and Boston Rob and Colby in my room as a kid. So
love all of them.
Those are
old school,
iconic. I mean, you can't not shout out Sandra, who's won twice.
The queen.
Russell was like always compelling to me.
Yeah.
My childhood crush was Elizabeth Flarsky, who now Elizabeth Hasselback. So loved season 2. Amber. I don't know why my brain's going to all the OGs, but
that's where my brain goes. Boston Rob. Have you watched the latest season of Traitors with Boston Rob?
I haven't, but I know he's in it, and I know
go watch it. You'll enjoy
chaotic. But if I had to pick one, it's Parvati for sure.
Oh, mine would be Boston Rob, but Poverty would be a close second. I love them. And Cochran. Always love Cochran.
Good.
Cochran, who wrote a PhD thesis or something on Survivor. I mean,
also, there was like Rob Sesternino, who's like the other Rob from All Stars. Was from the same town as me
that's funny.
on Long Island. So I always had a soft spot for him. And Stephanie, I don't remember her last name, was also from the East Coast. So I was like, I liked.
So I'm from Massachusetts. So Boston
cool.
Rob
Nice.
is my
Amazing.
that's why he's my guy. But that I was always curious about that, like what your faves are. But Parvati, she's great, and she played one of the seasons of Traitors, which I hadn't watched yet, and she won.
Yeah. Oh, Suri also. Right? I like Suri.
Suri. Yes, I think that's probably how I was playing. I think I was a Suri kind of player. Like,
nice.
I'm probably not going to win the challenge, but I'll help you as much as I can. But I'm going to play this social game like nobody's business.
Yeah,
like you're not even going to see me coming. I think that was probably the closest gameplay person, and I think that Ted is like a poverty Boston Rob level kind of player is where I put her for sure.
Yeah, I don't have any insight into the like shenanigans and backstabbing, but I feel like she like I don't know if she like orchestrates backstabbings the way that they do, but maybe she does.
True.
I don't know.
Maybe I think she does a little bit more than we realize.
I mean, you have to.
She's
win
playing hard.
It's a very hard game to win.
Well, this has been a blast. Thank you so much
thanks
for coming,
me. Thanks for playing,
joining us. It's been so much fun.
Cool.
And so much fun, and I'm excited to have you play Cast Out. By the way, you get the full weekend off. If for real.
Nice. Okay, great.
For real, I swear.
Yeah, just let me know when it goes live, and
I'm gonna give you all the details.
Use perks to automate your DM.
I might have to. I hadn't thought about that. I may have to do that. It's a little different, much smaller, and it's a great way for us to show off what people are building on Farcaster. Cool. So that's really the goal. And thank you so much. It's been amazing having you here. And with that, everybody, we'll be back tomorrow with Shane Mack from XMTV,
cool.
Adrian and I, and we'll see you then. And with that, everybody, bye-bye.